the United States has been waging a real war against Russia for almost 2 years. The battleground is not only Eastern Europe, but also the geopolitical arena and the global economy. The efforts that the United States made to defeat Russia were unprecedented. Over the past 2 years, Washington has spent huge amounts of money and efforts to turn the countries of the global south against Russia. Simply put, the United States wanted to turn Russia into a real rogue state. Western propaganda exposed Russia as some kind of bully with a nuclear baton behind his back. In the information field, Russia was shown in the role of a warlike terrorist who violates public peace and brings the world not only to global hunger, but also to nuclear catastrophe. And if among the countries of the global south, some showed at least some sympathy towards the United States and promised Washington not to side with Russia, then after the conflict broke out in the Middle East, even these countries finally turned away from the United States. The fact is that the conflict in the Middle East has shown the true face of the United States. And even those countries that at least a little sympathized with the United States couldn't turn a blind eye to such obvious duplicity and hypocrisy of Washington. Moreover, this problem was also voiced by one of the high-ranking US diplomats. In particular, in an interview with British journalists from edition The Guardian, he bluntly stated that the United States had lost heavily to Russia in the battle for the countries of the global south. According to the diplomat, all that titanic work that the United States carried out in order for the countries of the world to support Ukraine in the war against Russia was lost as a result of the conflict that had erupted in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas. The countries of the world did not like the double standards of the United States. The fact that the United States supports Israel's actions in the Middle East but at the same time condemns Russia's actions in Ukraine has completely destroyed the confidence in Washington and the European Union. Most of all, countries such as South Africa, Brazil, and Indonesia expressed their dissatisfaction with the actions of the United States and the European Union. Moreover, Brazil even introduced a special resolution in the United Nations Security Council on this issue, and called on Israel to stop its harsh actions in the region and withdraw its demands for the Palestinians to leave the Gaza Strip. However, the United States vetoed the adoption of this document, which could have saved thousands of Palestinian lives. Moreover, the United States was the only country that opposed the adoption of this document. Meanwhile, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa declared solidarity with the Palestinian people and accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of attempting to organize genocide against the Arab population of the Middle East. China and Saudi Arabia also did not stand aside and expressed their dissatisfaction with Israel's actions. According to them, Israel's actions are not defensive in nature. The heads of the foreign ministries of China and Saudi Arabia called on Israel to respect international law and stop destroying the civilian population of Gaza. At the same time, it is worth noting that a summit is currently being held in Cairo, on the initiative of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. This summit is dedicated to military actions in the Middle East, and is designed to find the keys to resolving this conflict. It is worth noting that if at this summit the Western countries, led by the United States, once again begin to justify and defend Israel's actions, this will finally burn all bridges between the West and the countries of the global South. Thus, the true reason for Putin's calmness becomes clear. The president of Russia has repeatedly said that it is Washington's erroneous foreign policy that will become the main reason for the strategic failures of the United States. The United States is shooting itself in the foot with its actions and erroneous policies, harming not only its so-called allies, but also the global economy, Vladimir Putin said.